Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's going to be a really nice Tuesday. Got 0% chance of precipitation. Currently 44, high of 74. And 5:08 is the sunrise, and 8:23 is the sunset. So a nice, long uh, spring, what really is going to feel like a spring day. So excited about that. And for me, back to the work week. Um, but it was Memorial Day yesterday, and I took some time while I was mowing the lawn to reflect on the fallen, those who uh, willingly um, willingly gave their life for our freedom as an American in this country where we can have religious freedom to gather on a Sunday and not be persecuted for it, not have to hide on a Sunday our congregating. It's yeah, it's heavy. It's heavy. I've got an aunt who was in the Air Force. I got a good friend in the Army, and he lost many brothers. Um, so it was a day. I say a day. I took a moment to reflect. Um, yeah. So it is a study of Esther. We're in Esther, and we're in Esther chapter 2. And Hadash, or Esther, or it's Hadashah, which means myrtle, or Esther, which means star, um, is the daughter of Mordecai's uncle. We're in chapter 2, verse 7. And the king makes an edict to proclaim that all the young virgins were to be looked at, and ones that met a criteria would be gathered up and brought to his harem. And so in verse 8, it says Esther also was taken into the king's palace and put in the custody of Haggai, um, which and Haggai or Hegi or Haggai, depending on the what pronunciation you read, it means eunuch. Okay, it means eunuch. And so it says she was taken, and that I put a little question: did she go willingly? Right? Did she go willingly? I think so. Um, as we start to see more and more of Esther's character come out, and the young woman, Esther specifically, pleased him and won his favor, and he quickly provided her with the cosmetics and portion of food, and with 7 chosen young women from the king's palace, and advanced her uh, and her young women to the best place in the harem. So he she pleased Haggai, and he gives her, I guess, servant women, right, to take care of her. Gives her all the food, all the cosmetics she needs to pretty herself up to meet the criteria that Haggai would know that the king likes. Okay, and then it says in verse 10, Esther had not yet made known her people or her kindred, for Mordecai had commanded her to not make it known. So, so she didn't make things known, and she kept Mordecai's commandments. See, Esther, she's obedient. Okay, she's obedient, and ladies, there's beauty in obedience. Okay, there's there's beauty in submission. Though we're going to see Esther is strong. Okay, and she knows when to stand up, and she takes her time. All right, she wait. She doesn't let the pressures of others force her into doing something. She's obedient. Okay, she's obedient. There's beauty and power in obedience, ladies. All right, and also here, because he told her that, we get a glimpse of an anti-Semitic culture, a culture that is hates Jews. Okay, that excuse me, verse 11. And every day Mordecai walked in front of the court and the harem to learn how Esther was and what was happening to her. So he cared about his cousin. He cared about her, right? He wanted to see what was going on. He wanted to be involved. And now, because of that, that's why Esther would be obedient. Okay? That's why she obeyed the commandment, because he was involved. See, he was involved. Um, Now, when the turn came for each young woman, so that they gathered from the land the young virgins to go into King Ahasuerus after being 12 months under the regulations for the women, since this was the regular period of their beautifying, 6 months with oil and myrrh, and 6 months with spices and ointments for the women. So, to even be assimilated into what it means to be a Persian noble woman, right? For somebody off the street, it takes a year. It takes a year of assimilating into it. Um, when the young woman went to the king in this way, so she was assimilated. Right? She was assimilated by the time she gets to the king. She's looking as and probably acting, because Haggai and the girls that he placed for her care were training her. Okay, they were training her. This took a while, right? It took a while. Um, so when the young woman went into the king, she was given whatever she desired to take with her from the harem to the king's palace. All right. So she was given whatever she wanted to go. Um, then look in verse 15. It says, um, she asked for nothing except for what Haggai, the king's eunuch, who had charge of the women, advised. She went in as herself. She went in as herself. Although she was dressed up and assimilated, I'm sure some of those um, tendencies would be ingrained in her, and um, she would be acting like a Persian noble woman would act. She went in as herself. Okay, she went in as herself. Um, so in the morning, she would go in, and she would return to the second harem in the custody of Shashgas. Now, Shashgas means servant of the beautiful, and so he was the king's eunuch who was in charge of the concubines. So she went to a more inner um, circle, inner place where with women who were closer, right? His concubines, not his harem anymore, but his concubines. Um, Now, Esther was winning favor in the eyes of not just the king, but it says of all who saw her, right? So she had been assimilated, but she had an inner beauty, right? She had an inner beauty that was coming out that made her stand out to all who saw her. And it doesn't say all who knew her or knew about her or all who spent time with her. It just says all who saw her. Okay. And also, right, um, she took what was advised. Again, another sign about the quality of her personality and her nature. She took what was advised, but she asked for nothing, but also only took what she was advised. So she listened, right? She listened, and um, I think kind of she's in it, right? And so she's playing the game, and I think she's doing the best she can with the task in front of her, right? I think that's another sign of her character, right? Of her inner beauty, right? So she's obedient. She's asked for nothing. She's confident in herself, right? She knows who she is. Um, she's beautiful, but she took what was advised. She's playing the game, right? She's I maybe playing the game's not quite how I want to do it, but she's in it, right? She's in it. She's going. She wants to. She's got a desire to be successful. Okay, and when Esther was taken to King Ahasuerus into his royal palace in the 10th month, which is the month of Tebeth, in the 7th year of his reign, the king loved her more than all other women. Right? He loved her. So, was it love at first sight? Or was it that nobody else uh, met her level? Right? That he loved her? Right? But he loved her. It says he loved her more than all other women. And she won grace and favor in his sight more than all the virgins, so that he set the royal crown on her head and made her queen instead of Vashti. So she took the place of queen in the land, and I think it was very quick. It doesn't say that she kept going in and out and meeting with him, right? It's read as a one time thing. She went in, came out. After he saw all the girls, and he took her. Right, he took her, put the crown on her head. Then the king gave a great feast for all his officials and servants. Right back to where it started. He gave a great feast. So he makes her queen, and he throws a party, not for her, not for himself, not for the king, but for all the officials, right? For all the officials underneath him. And that's what the party was, right? If you go back to chapter 1, the party was for the officials and the princes, right? And here, he throws the feast for the officials and servants in. It was Esther's feast. So he granted a remission of taxes to the provinces and gave gifts with royal generosity. So, he does not know that she's a Hebrew woman, right? He does know that she's beautiful. He knows what the eunuchs have told him about her, um, and he knows there's something different about her. And what is that? It's not just the look. It's from the inside out, right? It's from the inside out. Now, men, we can take a lesson from this, right? Be there, right? Be there. Mordecai was there every single day. He wanted to have part in what was going on in her life. And she submitted to him, right? She obeyed his command of not saying who she was, who her family was, who her kindred was, who her people was. Okay? And she obeyed it, right? She kept it. She was beautiful from the inside out, right? Beautiful from the inside out. All right, y'all. Have a great day.